You mentioned that you're passionate about educating the whole child. Um, what does that mean to you? Why is it important? And what does it look like in practice at Warner Elementary?
hmm So the whole child for me is number one, it goes back to if a student doesn't feel safe, um, and safe can be a lot of things. Do they have food in their stomach? Do they have clean clothes? Um, do they have a space where do they have a space where they have someone at the school that they know is their champion, that cares about them? Um, those are some important factors because if something is amiss, and we know that our kids nowadays, they're dealing with divorce, they're dealing with broken homes, they're dealing with families that are in crisis, they're dealing with abuse. I mean, there's a whole slew of things that our kids are dealing with. So the first and foremost is they have to feel safe. And so when I'm talking about whole child, is that safe atmosphere created? And then on top of the safe atmosphere, do they also feel safe enough to share? As a former student way back in the day, there were certain classrooms I wasn't going to ever raise my hand. There were certain classrooms that I basically tried to hide. I wanted to fly under the radar. To me, that's not a safe environment. I want kids to feel as though they can speak up, they can speak out. But I also know that that doesn't just get created by the adult. It also is developed by the kids. So, we've talked a lot about classroom meetings. We've talked a lot about mindfulness here at Warner. And classroom meetings and mindfulness, the goal is creating an atmosphere, an environment where it becomes a bit of a family. I mean, you're basically in the same room for 6 to 7 hours of the day. I mean, obviously you're going to go out for recess and you're going to go to specials and things, but you're together for 6 to 7 hours of the day. Not everybody is going to be best friends, but even in a family setting, not everybody is best friends. So you want to just treat each other with respect. You want to, you know, we don't want to have an environment where a kid feels bullied or afraid to speak up and talk out. So the environment is part of that whole child. The other part is this kind of shifts to the adults. Once the adult figures out the kid's story, everything changes. And we've got some very high need level students. We had a student just last year that her teeth were going rotten, and she couldn't eat anything of substance because um, it was causing a lot of damage, and she was having some infections in her mouth. When I had two different adults learn this little girl's story, and on a Saturday morning, they're contacting the family to say, do you need a car ride? Do you need help with a payment? What do you need? And to me, when I think about the whole child, it's about that safe piece, but it also then in turn goes to the adults. Are the adults willing to learn the story? Because every single kid, every single person has a story. That to me is the whole child.